Hey everyone. If you've been watching XRP like I have lately,
Oh,
then this is going to be pretty interesting. We're seeing some really wild market activity, especially over on Coinbase.
yeah, it's pretty remarkable what's been happening. XRP has actually become the most traded cryptocurrency on Coinbase.
Really?
Yeah, even surpassing Bitcoin.
Wow, I did not expect that. What do you think is driving this, especially with American investors?
Well, we can look at some numbers to get a sense of what's going on. So XRP's 24-hour trading volume on Coinbase just hit $1.67 billion.
Wow.
And that's almost 24% of the total trading volume on the platform.
Okay.
You compare that to Bitcoin, which came in at 1.4 billion, only about 20% of the total volume.
Yeah, so this isn't just like a small change. This is a real shift. What's making XRP so attractive right now?
Oh, a few things seem to be kind of converging here. One is that there's this speculation that the incoming U.S. president might really prioritize these domestically founded cryptocurrencies.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And XRP would definitely fit that bill, along with others like SOL and USDC. So if the U.S. government starts favoring these cryptos, that's a big signal.
Yeah, it's like a stamp of approval
Right.
that could attract even more investment. And it's not just hypothetical. There's even been talk about the U.S. potentially including crypto in its strategic reserves.
Wait, strategic reserves,
Right.
like they have with oil and gold.
Exactly. So these are assets that a country holds for economic or strategic reasons. And, if the U.S. were to include crypto, it would just be this groundbreaking move, signaling a really major shift in how they view these digital assets.
Yeah, that would definitely get people talking. But why XRP in particular?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. There's a lot of buzz about a potential XRP exchange-traded fund, or ETF, being approved in the U.S.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, an ETF is basically like a basket of assets that you can invest in. So an XRP ETF would make it way easier for people to get in on XRP without having to set up a wallet or deal with all the kind of complexities of owning XRP directly.
Exactly. And, ETFs have been a major catalyst for bringing other assets into the mainstream. You look at gold, when gold ETFs became available, it opened up the floodgates for a whole new wave of investors.
So an XRP ETF could potentially do something similar, make it much easier for just everyday investors to jump on board.
Precisely. And this speculation is already having an impact. So XRP's value recently jumped over 4%, hitting $3.31, which is, getting really close to its all-time high of 3.4.
So it sounds like everyone's trying to get in on the action before it potentially takes off even more. But Coinbase isn't the only exchange out there.
Right, of course not. Globally, Binance is still the leading cryptocurrency exchange. And Bitcoin still reigns supreme there.
But Binance isn't available to U.S. investors, right?
Right.
So the fact that XRP is dominating on Coinbase, which is the platform that a lot of Americans use, is a pretty big indicator of where U.S. sentiment is at.
Absolutely. It's almost like these two separate crypto worlds are emerging. You have the global one, which is dominated by Bitcoin, and then you have this U.S. one where XRP is making a serious play.
It's crazy how different regulations in different countries shape how people view these different cryptocurrencies.
And this kind of brings us to something I think is pretty interesting. It's not just about which cryptocurrency is, the most popular at the moment. I think this whole situation might actually represent a broader shift in how the U.S. views and interacts with, crypto in general.
Okay. Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, in the past, I feel like the focus in the U.S. has been really heavily on Bitcoin, right? It was the first, the biggest. For a long time, it felt like it was the only one that really mattered. But now we're seeing a potential move away from this, Bitcoin-only perspective.
So a more diversified approach, recognizing there's this whole ecosystem of different cryptocurrencies out there.
Exactly, exactly. And this potential inclusion of XRP and other domestically founded cryptos in the U.S. reserves, I think it suggests that the government is starting to see the bigger picture.
That makes sense. The crypto world has just grown so much in recent years. To just ignore all that would be crazy.
Right. And I think by embracing, a wider range of cryptocurrencies, the U.S. could even be setting a precedent for other countries to follow.
Oh, like a domino effect.
Exactly. So other nations, they might start to kind of rethink their own regulatory frameworks and explore these possibilities beyond just Bitcoin. And, that could lead to a more dynamic and decentralized global financial system.
So let's actually talk about the potential XRP ETF that you mentioned before, because that feels like a really big part of this whole thing. How would that even work? How would an XRP ETF actually work?
Well, imagine it like a mutual fund, but it's for XRP, right? So investors could buy shares of this ETF and it would track the price of XRP. So they wouldn't have to worry about setting up a crypto wallet or, all the technical complexities of like owning XRP directly.
So it lowers the barrier to entry for everyday investors.
Yeah.
But what about, like, the bigger institutions? They've been kind of hesitant to really jump into crypto. Would an ETF change that?
I think it absolutely would. An ETF provides that familiar regulated vehicle for institutions to kind of gain exposure to XRP. So it would remove a lot of the perceived risk and complexity.
And let's be honest, when those big institutions start putting money in, it signals a major shift, right?
Oh, without a doubt. That increased institutional investment, it brings a level of legitimacy and stability to the XRP market, and it could attract even more investors, driving further price appreciation.
So we've got this increased retail interest, we've got this potential government backing, we've got the possibility of this XRP ETF that paves the way for these institutional investors. It's kind of starting to feel like the perfect storm for XRP.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very compelling narrative. But, we always have to remember that this market is inherently volatile. Things can change quickly. There are always risks involved.
Yeah, that's true. But that's also part of what makes it so exciting, right? It's high stakes, big potential rewards.
Exactly. Yeah. And knowledge is your best weapon.
Yeah.
The more you understand the technology, the dynamics of the market, the regulatory landscape, the better prepared you'll be to kind of navigate this whole thing.
For our listeners who are following XRP closely, what should they be watching for in these coming weeks and months? What are the signs that this shift is really happening?
Keep a close eye on the new U.S. administration. Their stance on crypto is absolutely crucial. Will they follow through on these hints about XRP and reserves? Will they push for the XRP ETF?
Yeah, those are the big ones. Because if those fall, they could set off a chain reaction.
It's a big moment for sure. We could be on the cusp of something really, really major in the crypto world. And XRP seems to be at the heart of it.
So buckle up, everyone. Things are about to get interesting. This really does feel like we're at some kind of turning point. But zooming out a bit, what could this all mean for the average person, for our listener who's been following along with this?
Yeah, it's a really, really big question with, potentially massive implications. I mean, if the U.S. government actually does this, if they actually include cryptocurrency in its reserves, it could be a huge deal for the entire global financial system.
Right. It'd be a signal unlike anything we've ever seen before. It would basically be like an endorsement of crypto from, like, the highest levels of traditional finance.
Exactly. And those institutions, those governments that have been hesitant until now, they might start to see things totally differently. And that could lead to just this flood of money coming into the crypto market. Not just XRP, but maybe a lot of different digital assets could just explode in value.
But as you've mentioned, it's about more than just making money, right? This points to a much, larger shift, maybe even a change in the balance of power in the global financial system.
Absolutely. At their core, cryptocurrencies represent this decentralized system, one that operates outside the control of central banks and these, traditional institutions. And if governments start to embrace that, it really challenges the foundations of the financial systems that we've all relied on for centuries.
Yeah, it's almost like we're seeing the first signs of a financial revolution, a move away from this centralized control and towards something more, I don't know, open, transparent, maybe even more equitable.
It's a very interesting possibility. And as all of this keeps developing, I think it's really important to stay informed, do your own research, think critically about how this might affect your own, finances.
Because in a lot of ways, we're all kind of writing this story together. The decisions that we make today, the investments we choose, how we engage with all these new technologies, it all plays a role in shaping the future of finance.
And who knows, maybe we'll all look back on this moment, with all this interest in XRP as the real turning point.
Yeah.
The turning point that created this ripple effect.
Yeah.
Leading us toward a future that's more inclusive, more innovative, and maybe even more exciting than we could have imagined. So everyone out there listening, keep your eyes open, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.